Time to tune in. Now another Sports Center. It's a movement.
We got a football game last night. We had the Washington football team get the dub over the New York Football Giants, 30-29. Isaac, man, go ahead, take us away, man. Let's talk about it.
First of all, Washington. Everybody take a collective deep breath, because I know all of y'all's cholesterol is high, all your blood pressure's high. I know mine is. Everybody just 2 weeks in, we're 1-1. Everybody chill. No, last night's game was it was a game for sure. I mean, it had everything you want. It had ups and downs, highs and lows. It was just a good matchup. I mean, we haven't beaten New York in 2 years, and for whatever reason on God's green earth, we just have not been able to beat Daniel Jones. He's got I think he's got 8 or 9 wins in the league, and 4 of them are to us. That's just not right. So being able to slay that dragon was a huge weight off all of our shoulders. And that's the thing, whether you win ugly or win beautifully, a win is still a win, so we can sit and try to dissect and, oh, well, this should have happened. Well, he missed the kick. Yeah, well, the guy should have been offsides. And then he made the second one. That's all anybody remembers. So, I'm excited about it. There's a lot of things I think we need to work on. I know in week 1, our defense did not show what, we know what they can do. I think they came out, made a few more mistakes, but they tightened up and they started showing what they're capable of when it mattered. Taylor Heinicke, I mean, I love the kid, man. I personally feel
and keep it real, no biasness, man. What's an honest assessment?
Honest assessment. I think with a quarterback, if you want to measure his greatness, you have to look at him in the clutch. Look at him when the game is on the line. And even after he threw that, what could have been a back-breaking pick on the 20-yard line almost, pretty much almost gave them the game back. He didn't panic. He didn't cry about it. He was angry with himself. But if you go back and watch him on that sideline, my man was staring ice daggers onto that field, just like, all I want is a shot. And his defense gave him that shot. And he went out and said, it's like he didn't even remember what happened last time. He went out there calm and poised, and he made some plays. But even the drive before that, the drive to go ahead, that's when I saw, this kid can be something, because he drove down the field, 80 yards or 75 yards in 2 plays and didn't break a sweat. And that catch by Ricky Seals-Jones in the corner of the end zone, that was beautiful. And I mean, I'm excited about it. I think he has what it takes to continue. This is his 3rd start. It's his first NFL win, but he looked the part. And, a lot of us have been thinking, since that game in Tampa Bay, against Tampa Bay in the playoffs, is he real? Is this something tangible that we can continue to build on? He showed a lot of excitement, but he ultimately lost the game. He came in last week and he did well, but they ultimately lost the game. It's can he win games and still keep up the high level of play? And last night, he showed, yes, he can, because we've seen him run around and, create excitement with his legs. He didn't have any rushing yards last night. He did all of his operating within the pocket, and that was huge for me personally, because I wanted to see that. I wanted to see, because I have PTSD from the RG3 years. I know what it's like to be excited about somebody running around, but if somebody game plans for you and forces you in the pocket, are you going to be able to still produce, or are you going to falter like so many other quarterbacks before him? And he showed me that he's got ice in his veins, and he's ready for whatever you throw at him. This is a kid that's had so many things happen to him throughout his career that would make anybody else give up. He's had the injury bug. He couldn't stay healthy. He's been cut from teams. He's tried in the XFL, and yet still here he is, still mining and scrapping his way. And I love it. And the team loves it. The coaching staff loves it, and they're behind him. And that's all that matters. Like I said, an ugly win is a win nonetheless. Yeah. And on to Buffalo. So I think we got a guy.
Well, Isaac, I'm not going to disagree with you there, brother. I was very impressed with what I saw from Taylor Heinicke in his first actual NFL start. I know this is his 3rd game that he's actually played. This is the first game that he started in the NFL. Last week, as we know, he didn't start. Ryan Fitzpatrick got that start. and ultimately ended up exiting the game. And I believe Alex Smith started that playoff game, and that's where Heinicke came in and provided that spark. And they almost got the Tampa Bay Bucks out early. But yeah, really impressive night for Taylor Heinicke last night. 34 for 46, 336 yard passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He looked poised. He looked confident. What's crazy is, for as much praise as we want to heap on Taylor Heinicke, and he's very much deserving of it, Daniel Jones played a pretty good game too. And here's the problem that I have with the Daniel Jones and the Taylor Heinicke comparison, because I'm looking at their stat line and it's actually pretty even, right? Daniel Jones, 22 for 32, 249, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. But Daniel Jones is in year 3 of being an NFL starter. He should be much further along than where Taylor Heinicke is. And he was struggling to compete at the level that Taylor Heinicke is. Granted, he's 4 years younger than Heinicke, but he has 3 more years of NFL experience under his belt. And I just expect, if I'm a Giants fan, I'm expecting my quarterback to, when is he going to make that next step? And what I'm looking at is he still has a turnover bug. He's still overthrowing wide open receivers. There was a pass to a late pass that I believe went to Kenny Golladay, right? Was that Kenny Golladay that was running deep towards the end of
Golladay, yeah.
Or is that Darius? The one that's off the field, it was Darius Slayton. Anyway, is wide open. There's nobody but him and Jesus Christ in the end zone, and he overthrows him, man. Like he overthrows him now. And some people may say, Slayton's got to catch that. It hits him in the hands, it hits him in the gloves, or on the fingertips and stuff like that. You're getting paid to bring those difficult catches down. But also as a quarterback, man, you've got to be more poised and you've got to be able to hit those big wide open plays. I mean, there's a lot of opportunities for the Giants last night. Saquon, for as strong as his quads continue to look, he doesn't look like himself at all, man. He looks frazzled. He doesn't look patient. It's like as soon as he touches the ball, he's just hitting whatever's in front of him, and he's not letting anything open up. It's like his ball carrier vision is totally disappeared. He was averaging 4.4 yards per carry on 13 carries, 57 yards. So all in all, like statistically not bad, but just nowhere near close to what we've seen. And part of that is I think he's still coming back from the injury. The other part of it, let's give some credit to the Washington football team defense and that defensive front. Chase Young, Deron Payne, Montez Sweat, Jonathan Allen, like those boys are no slouches out there. But I also want to give a lot of credit to the Giants offensive line, because for the most part, even though I think Montez Sweat was the guy that really got loose the most, Jonathan Allen ended up getting a few of his, but I really expected to hear Chase Young's name called a lot more yesterday. And I would say that the Giants, they kind of did what they had to do to take care of him, especially when they lost, I believe, is their starting right tackle that went down, or their starting left tackle. He's
there's a center.
That's their center, and he's done for the season.
It was a bad injury.
Yeah, so that's not
for him.
That's not going to be good for the Giants going forward. Young player, a lot of promise, and super talented. It is not going to make Daniel Jones's life any easier. But yeah, man, like I said, this was a really wonky football game to me, and I understand exactly what you mean, Isaac, when you say your blood pressure is up and your heart jumping out of your chest. There's so many twists and turns and things that could have happened, didn't happen, should have happened. But yeah, it's got to feel good for Washington football team to get this monkey off their back, to finally, go ahead and defeat a division rival that's had the best of them the last 2 years. Me as a Rams fan, I'm hoping that we can get the monkey off of our back and get rid of the 49ers, because they swept us for the last 2 years. So we're hoping that we'll be able to do that. But yeah, man, I think this is a team I think both teams are still gelling, right? I think the Giants with the new addition of Kenny Golladay, with Saquon coming back, I think they're still trying to find their rhythm on offense and what that looks like. And then the same thing with the Washington football team. This is their now third quarterback in 2 years. Third quarterback in 2 years, because they've only really had one game with Taylor Heinicke. And you can say fourth quarterback if you want to count that one game that Kyle Allen started and then subsequently was injured and Alex Smith came in, played the rest of the way. So they're still making adjustments as well, man. But I think the future is bright for both of these teams. I know in our predictions, I picked Washington football team to win this division. They are going to have to play a lot better than what they have these last 2 weeks. And they're going to have to get their stuff together really, really fast, because this division has already shown me in the first week that you guys have some people that can put up points. I don't know about defense for any of these teams, as a matter of fact, because all of them have allowed like 30 points outside of the Eagles, which was the biggest surprise. But I mean, Jalen Hurts is putting up 30 points. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I said, outside of the Eagles, who shut down the Falcons and stopped them putting up 30 points. And then, like I said, we know what the Cowboys can do. We know what the Cowboys can do with all the weapons that they have there. I'm just, like I said, it's still early, still a lot of football to be played. I still am going to keep Washington football team as my pick for this division, but offensively, Taylor Heinicke has got to get it together. The rest of that offense has got to get it together, and that defense has really got to be the threat that we believed that they were going to be at the beginning of the season. Chase Young, this is your year. If you want to go ahead and compete for Defensive Player of the Year, now is where you make your case, because there's already some players in this league that are kind of grandfathered in. Like, we already know Aaron Donald's going to be in the conversation, even though he hasn't really done anything yet. Aaron Donald's in this conversation, right? TJ Watt is going to be in the conversation again. Myles Garrett is going to be in the conversation. Chandler Jones let it be known last Sunday that he's going to be in the conversation this year. So I think if Chase Young wants to get into this Defensive Player of the Year conversation, it's time for him to start making some plays.
One thing I was kind of just to piggyback off of your point about Daniel Jones, I won't be as harsh on him, just because taking my fandom out of it, just objectively speaking, I mean, I do see a little bit of growth from him. The game against the Broncos was bad, but I think this game he did take a few steps forward. He gave his team the opportunity to win the game, and he didn't throw any turnovers. He was turnover free for the first time in God knows how long.
I think he fumbled the ball, actually.
Did he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he had a Daniel Jones fumble.
He's always good for one.
Yeah.
But that pass to Slayton, that would have effectively ended the game.
Oh,
easy.
easy.
Mean, it wouldn't have ended it, but that would have put him up 10 with not that much time to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it was a little bit there, like in front of him, but I'm putting that on Slayton, man. That was as a receiver, I'm biased. That's a good throw. You're going to have to extend, but it hit like 80% of his palm. That's a catch. You got to come down with that, Darius. Now, I'm glad you didn't.
Mm-hmm.
God bless you, But as for the Washington football team, man, I just feel we're a weird team, but we are always a second half team. Whether it's individually in a game, we're always getting the second half and the season. Last year, it was the same thing. We kind of just, what were we, like 2-3-7 at some point, and then we just got on a roll. So for us to be dealing with these kinks, I knew it was coming.
Mm-hmm.
But to be able to kind of work through them this early, last year, this type of game would have probably happened like week 7, week 8. For it to be happening week 2, 3-4 days after you just had, a really heartbreaking loss of a game that you could have won against a solid Chargers team, I think that this is solid, because now we have a week and a half to prepare and go to Buffalo, and I'm actually excited for this game. I feel like we've gotten out the egregious errors, and we know what we need to do. And I know the coaching is just too good. The players and the talent, the personnel are just too good for them to just be trash all year. And they've shown that they'll get punched in the face. We'll definitely take punches in the face, but as we keep going in the season, we'll deal it back. So,
unfortunately for the Washington football team, right? Like, they're located in the NFC. Period. Forget the NFC East; they're located in the NFC, and there's some juggernauts in the NFC. And being a second half team is not going to win. It's not going to make you championship caliber, because a lot of these teams are 4-quarter teams, and they jump out early and they jump out fast, and that's going to be a lot to battle back from. Not everybody's going to be able to battle back from being down almost 30 against the 49ers. So we'll see what happens going forward.
I think our saving grace, keep in mind, we have 5 division games to end the year. So that is for us, that works perfectly. And remember, the key to getting into the playoffs is to win your division. And the key to being a good team is to just have a solid division record. 4-2 in your division will usually get the job done. We already got one. We're 1-0 so far, and now it's going to be a mad long time until we have another division matchup. But I like the scheduling, the fact that they put all of those games probably trying to ruin us, not realizing that's our sweet spot. That's when we really turn it on. That's when we turned it on last year. That's kind of historically how we've been. And I think if we hit our stride and get into that groove and just start knocking out division opponents left and right, we can really make some noise. But no, I agree. There's definitely some things we got to work on if we want to, be talked about like those juggernauts. Because I know we can hang with anybody in the league, but it's about putting up now.
Turn 100 for the touchdown, King Crown, gain inside, leading your town, hit you faster than the sound, bad boy, throw it down, yeah, I'm ill, not my will, don't cop a fill the house, listen to the roaring crowd, drop a light, calm it down, Heisman, all the haters mouth, superhero hit them, wow, packing more action than bing, boom, bam, pow, touchdown for the win, we live, subscribe right now.